Okay. Good evening and welcome to Lincoln County Courthouse. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So this meeting of the Lincoln County Planning Commission will begin with a few introductory remarks. This meeting is being streamed live, and when adjourned and posted, it'll be available at any time at lincolncountysd.gov. The order of events tonight will be as follows. For each public hearing, staff will introduce the agenda item and present a summary of the staff findings. The applicant will then be asked to explain the proposal in further detail and to answer any questions from the County Planning Commission. I'll then open the floor to public comment, first for persons in support of the application and then for persons in opposition of the application. When you step to the podium, please state your name, address, and speak clearly into the microphone. Please limit your comments to less than 5 minutes. Lastly, decisions on change of zones will be scheduled for an additional public hearing during the upcoming Board of Commissioners meeting. The decisions on conditional use permit applications may be appealed to the Board of Commissioners by submitting a letter to the County Planning and Zoning Office within 5 business days. Thank you for your cooperation. A quorum has been established, and we'll now approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. Is there any corrections? Does anybody see? Okay, can we get a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
Motion approved, Boots.
Second, Green.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. The next thing we'll do is we'll approve the agenda. Is there any changes to the agenda? Or corrections? Seeing none, can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
So approved, Sweeter?
Second, Green.
Okay, it's been moved, properly seconded. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, the next thing we'll do is we'll open the floor to public input on non-agenda items. So if either one of you two want to talk about anything that isn't on the agenda, now's your chance. Okay, very good. We'll close the floor to public input. We'll start with our applications. Mr. Brown, number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Toby Brown, representing County Planning and Zoning Department. This first item before you this evening is an application for a conditional use permit in the county if an accessory building exceeds 1,500 square feet in an agricultural zone property that has more than 4 subdivision areas in it. It does require a conditional use permit. This application is for property that's about 2,600 feet to the northeast of the city of Harrisburg. It is within the city of Harrisburg's Plating and Subdivision Authority. Subject property, as you can see, is zoned A1 agricultural. All surrounding properties are like zoned except the property directly to the east, which was rezoned to rural residential. It is vacant though at this time, the property to the east. So the subject property is a rural acreage. It does have a single-family dwelling on it, and it does have a current accessory building that is 1,620 square feet. These are some pictures of the property. The one looking directly to the south would be looking directly onto that property. So the applicant did submit an application to the department to essentially, he's going to move an accessory building that exists on property that he currently owns directly to the north of this property. The proposal is to move a 1,200 square foot building and construct it in location that's identified on the site plan. As far as the staff's analysis, we did look at surrounding properties. If you can see, the property directly to the west does have an accessory building that exceeds the 1,500 square feet. That building is approximately 2,520 square feet. Surrounding properties also do have, the surrounding residential properties do have existing accessory buildings on them as well. This is an area that was a pre-density zoning residential subdivision, so there was no building eligibilities at that time. It was just platted out prior to density zoning in 1995. So we did post the property We did also, the applicant did send letter notification to properties adjacent. As of this meeting, staff has received no comments regarding this proposed application. As part of the analysis or the criteria for the analysis, staff really looked at what the proposed use is. And again, we do restrict accessory buildings to only personal use or personal storage on the property, as well as this building is proposed to be constructed or put onto the property will be buffered in between the single-family dwelling and the existing accessory building is on the property. And if you look around the property, there's quite a bit of screening directly to the south and to the east of this proposed building. So this, staff does feel that this application is consistent with the standards and requirements for what we call an oversized accessory building. And do feel that as conditioned, with the 6 conditions that staff recommends within the staff report, that this application should not have any detrimental effect on the development or the neighboring properties. So with that, staff does recommend approval with the 6 conditions that were listed in the staff report. And with that, Mr. Chair, I'll turn it back to you and gladly answer any questions that the board has for staff. Otherwise, the applicant is in attendance this evening to answer any questions that you have.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Brown at this time? No? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Well, now ask the applicant to come forward and just tell us a little bit about what you're wanting to do here.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for your time. My name is Troy Koima, currently residing at 27051 Southeastern Avenue, which is the property he mentioned just to the north on Sioux Falls. So I'm on the wrong side of the tracks, I guess. I'm in Sioux Falls versus Harrisburg. In March of this year, the Harrisburg School District approached us. We've lived at this property for 20 years, raised our family there. And they approached us and said they had purchased all the ground around our home and said, we really want to encourage you to think about moving because we want to build a bus barn about 10 feet from my bedroom window. So I said, we went through all the stages of grief. We'd raised our kids there. We really like our place. We've got it to the point where we liked it, where it is. And after a lot of discussion and visiting of other places in Sioux Falls area, trying to do what we do, which I'll explain in just a moment, we just felt like we needed to stay pretty close to home from where we were for our family's sake and for what I do with some nonprofit stuff with kids. So anyway, we just found this place that we're currently looking at, which is just across the street, or road, or whatever you want to call it. From my backyard, it's a half mile as the crow flies to this place. And the school district agreed with me after visiting with their supervisor or head guy, Tim Graff, about what we do. And he said, well, the school would make an offer to us to move our buildings so that we wouldn't be basically hurt in any way with what we're doing. So that's how it got started, and they made us an offer to move the building. Well, then we got into this property, we weren't aware of exactly all the different rules and regulations to get our building moved to this place. So that's why we approached planning and zoning. And so that's what's going on. Any questions you might have?
Any questions for the applicant? No? So basically, yeah, you're just gonna, I'm just looking at it on the map, you're just gonna take this accessory building and run it down the road. Cool.
Yeah, it's a glorified 3-stall garage with 1 stall being finished off for what I do with, which is the second. Well, I won't
Yep.
bring that, I'll wait for that, but.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. No, I don't, I guess I don't have any questions. Anybody else? Mr.
I
Green?
do, Mr. Chair. So to be clear, you currently don't own the property, you're just trying to get all this pre-approved and then?
No, we do.
Oh, you do own that
Yeah, in August, the school purchased our home, and then about 2 days later, we made an offer on this
On the other
property.
one,
and
okay,
we
so you do own the
accepted.
property?
Yes, yes,
Perfect,
sir.
thank you.
Yep. Yep, it is, when you look at it, the parcel's in him and, I'm
His
assuming
name,
your
okay.
wife.
Yep, right.
Yep, so that's done. Thanks for asking
Yeah.
that, because yeah, otherwise it would be a little weird if it wasn't.
Just making sure that this wasn't contingent upon
Yeah, it's-
buy-in,
No,
as
no,
long as we
no,
can do
no.
all this.
No,
Perfect.
we actually kind of probably got the cart ahead of the horse. When we found it, we kind of snapped on it and then started to go, okay, now what?
Now what do you
And
do?
we should have probably thought that through better.
Well, we're glad you asked the questions. Oftentimes, we have people come here that have already moved it and then come and beg for forgiveness.
I get it.
Very good. If there's no further questions, okay, thank you, Mr. Clem. Can we get a motion of approval?
Do we need to go through four? I know there's only two, but do we need to go
Oh, I should
through-
probably, yeah. I shouldn't, he's maybe opposed to it. Is there anyone else that's in favor of the application? Please come forward. Okay, anybody that's opposed to the application, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll close the floor to public comment, and we'll entertain a motion for approval now.
I'll make a motion to approve with the 6 conditions listed in the staff report. Green.
Second, Boots.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none down there. Mr. Boots, do you have anything?
No, it looks pretty straightforward.
Yeah, me too. So I'll go ahead and call the roll. Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Sweeter,
Yes.
Commissioner Otten,
As the Lincoln County Commission representative, I will be abstaining, but I have no conflict of interest.
very good. Commissioner Boots,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott is also a yes, so. All right, Mr. Brown, item number 2.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this next item is actually the same exact property. This is an application for a conditional use for a Class 1 major home occupation, and I'll get into that just a little bit here. So again, this property is approximately 2,600 feet to the northeast of the city of Harrisburg corporate limits. Subject property is zoned A1 agricultural, as is all adjacent properties except the property adjacent to the east, which was rezoned to rural residential. Again, property does have a single-family dwelling, a 1,200 square foot accessory or a 1,620 square foot accessory building, and then was just approved for a 1,200 square foot accessory building. And again, the one looking to the south would be the particular property. So the applicant did again approach staff. At the current property that he currently resides at to the north, the county did approve a conditional use permit for a Class 1 major home occupation a number of years ago. And the applicant, and I'll let the applicant explain a little bit more, but does run a home occupation out of the property and then requesting to move that to this location where, again, he will be residing on this property as well. And so under the Class 1 major home occupation, again, in Lincoln County, you can have a minor home occupation that operates out of the dwelling. You still have to meet the requirements of number of visitors per day, and then also again, it has to be operated out of the dwelling. But if you operate it out of an accessory building on the property, it does require the Class 1 major home occupation conditional use permit, which is what the applicant is applying for. And what I would say is that the one that was previously approved to the north, and again, this is separate properties, but from the time that that application was approved until today, there's been ever any complaints on that particular property. There's never been any compliance issues that staff has had regarding that particular occupation. And so what the applicant does is he operates a nonprofit essentially that utilizes music. He does have, I believe on a monthly basis, have people come onto the property that would, play instruments and do those different types of things. And so again, it as proposed and as it did on the north property, this does meet all of the requirements or standards for a Class 1 major home occupation. But with that, we do put those standards or conditions as proposed in the conditional use permit, so that you can see all of those that are there, as well as we do look at the actual, where the location of this will be and those different types of items. So again, staff did post the property. The applicant did send a letter notification within 500 feet. As of this meeting, we've received no calls or questions or concerns with the proposed application with it. So in reviewing the application, again, we did have a lot to rely on, which we typically don't, is that this has been in operation just to the north of this property for a number of years. So again, we do have a record that it does meet those requirements, and those requirements haven't changed for the minimum standards of what that is. So staff does feel that this application is consistent with the standards for a Class 1 major home occupation as conditioned. And so with that, the applicant, if approved, would have to meet all of those requirements on a continual basis. At such time as staff would identify that they weren't in compliance with that, we would notify the board with that. But don't feel that there's any issues potentially with that, with this particular application or with this property. So again, staff does recommend approval of this application with the 14 conditions that were listed in the staff report. With that, Mr. Chair, I'll turn it back to you and gladly answer any questions that the board has for staff at this time.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Brown? None? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Koima, if you wanna come back and, sorry to be redundant, but just state your name and address again for us. And
You want the new address now? My name's Troy Koima, and I will be moving to 47555 271st Street, Harrisburg, South Dakota, 57032. It's taken me a while to learn that one, but as far as what we're doing in the building, we're a ministry that supports churches and organizations with worship on Sundays. So we travel is our primary thing. And the building is used for the storage of music, equipment, instruments, and whatnot. Along with that, when we go out on the weekends, we take as many young kids who want to learn how to be musicians along with us who are learning. So what that means is throughout the school year, typically, we call Monday night jam night. And from 7 to 8 p.m., kids or parents will drop their kids off, and we're learning guitar, we're learning keyboard, things like that. And once they're ready for prime time, we take them with us to different churches and let them get experience with the hope of developing another worship leader generation for different churches around here. So we travel every Sunday, about 150 days a year, and different retreats and camps and things like that through the summer. And so that building is more or less just home base to store equipment. And every Monday night, now, not right now because we don't know if the building's been moved. We've been suspended for about 6 months here to try to decide what we're going to do. But they usually through the winter, there's maybe 2-3 cars on the driveway by the building where either kids who have licenses or parents are dropping their kid off for an hour just to come and learn some music. So that's what we're doing in that building. Have been doing it for 20 years now. So would love to continue. If I have to remodel my house, I guess, and change how I do things, that would be kind of a bummer, but whatever. So thanks for your time. Any questions?
Mr. Green?
Lengthy, 14 stipulations in the staff report.
Yeah.
Read them all, good with them all?
Yeah, I think so. I think I adhere to all of them now, so.
Fair enough, that was it.
Okay. Very good. Any other questions? No? Okay, very good. Thank you. Anyone else that's, would like to come and speak in favor of the application, please come forward. Seeing none, anybody that's opposed to the application, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll close the floor to public comment and entertain a motion of approval.
I'll make that motion with the 14 conditions. Boots?
Second, Sweeter.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? No?
Sounds like it's just a continuation of what he's got going on just on the other side of the street. It doesn't sound like anybody's ever had a problem with it, so.
Yep, my thoughts exactly. It's, first of all, just comment that what you're doing sounds like a really neat deal, so thanks for doing that. That's, seems like quite a commitment. That's really cool. I'm the same way. Without the disruption from the school, gentleman would be continuing what he already was permitted to do, and he's not asking for anything more. So I'll be in full support of it. So, any other comments? No? Okay, we'll start down here. Commissioner Boots.
Yes.
Commissioner Ott.
Abstain.
Commissioner Sweeter.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Scott is also a yes. So thank you, Mr. Koima. And Mr. Brown, we will move to item number 3.
Okay, this next item is a conditional use permit for an accessory building to exceed the total area of accessory building on the property to exceed the 1,500 square feet. Subject property is about 700 feet to the south of the city of Worthing corporate limits. Subject property is zoned A1 agricultural, as is all surrounding properties to this. Subject property is developed with one single-family dwelling. Does have some existing accessory buildings. One is approximately 5,000 square feet, and one is approximately 1,800 square feet. The applicant is proposing to construct an additional 1,200 square feet of accessory building on the property. The proposed building would meet all required setbacks and all things within that area. The lot is 11.3 acres in size. So this application is a little bit different than the previous one in that this is a truly what I would call more agricultural type area. So the lot sizes are a little bit bigger as well as the surrounding area is more agricultural in nature in that. So these are some shots that were taken of the property. Again, the one looking to the south would be looking more towards the property. So again, the applicant did submit an application to construct the 1,200 square foot building on the property. And so we did post the property. The applicant did send notification within 500 feet of this, as of this meeting. Staff has received no comments or questions regarding this proposed application. And again, I think in the staff analysis, we noted that this application is really for an agricultural type area. And the point of me saying that is that this size or total size of accessory building is not out of place in what would typically be in this type of an area, an agricultural type area with it. As well as, the surrounding area, the surrounding land uses around it. And so again, the new comprehensive plan really encourages the board to be complementary with existing land uses and those different types of things. And that's why, again, I point out the agricultural rural area of character of that area. And so again, with the conditions of it, we don't allow anything other than personal storage of it, no commercial operations, those types of things. Unless, of course, there would be a home occupation approved for the property. But staff does recommend in the staff report approval of this application with the standard 6 conditions that we typically do put on oversized accessory buildings for this area. So that, Mr. Chair, I'll turn it back to you. Glad to answer any questions that the board has. Otherwise, the applicant is in attendance this evening as well.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Brown? Mr. Brown, I have one.
Okay.
And not necessarily to this application, but this is maybe the first one that's come up where we've gotten, where there's multiple buildings, so I just have a question. So from your drawing, it looks like the building that he's wanting to construct is 30 by 40?
Correct.
Right? So that would be
1,200 square
100
feet.
square feet?
Yeah.
So it would be under the 1,500 square feet, right? But the reason we're having to do this is because there's already existing structures there, so that, if I understand that right then, so like going forward, that 1,500 square foot limit is for all accessory buildings on a piece of property?
Correct. Great question. Cumulative. You're right.
What's
Correct.
that?
It's cumulative, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that, very good.
And so I thought you'd ask a question, how did we get to that point without having a conditional use permit? But at that time, the house was built in like 1961, I think it was. So, and primarily at that time, a lot of it was agricultural storage on there. So, there was no limit on agricultural type storage, so.
And the reason it's not considered ag now is because it's under the 40 acre.
The use of what he's using it for.
And it's under the 40 acre deal and the use and and everything, where at the time it probably was just considered an ag building would be
Correct.
my guess, yeah. So that's an interesting thought though, because, so if it got constructed as an ag building but then gets parceled off or becomes a predominantly ag use thing, then that puts them in this category where they need to get permits to have more accessory buildings.
Correct.
Interesting. All right,
Yep, thank you.
thanks for the education. All right. We'll ask the applicant to come forward, please. Thanks for your patience. Well,
Thanks.
I asked questions.
Awesome.
Go ahead and state your name and address and tell us a little bit about what you want to do.
All right, my name is Patrick Duffy. I am the owner of 28054 472nd Street, Worthing, South Dakota, 57077. And I'm just applying for this 1,200 square foot building for personal use. I'm looking at having some finished space that's heated and cooled, and a garage space on the side for workshop and tinkering and stuff. Currently, the 30 by 60 building has a cutout for horses and animals to come in. So the flies in the spring to be in that building is pretty rough. So, and then the other one is cold storage, egg equipment and stuff like that. So looking for the 30 by 40 building.
Okay, very good. Any questions for the applicant? No? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Judging by attendance, probably not, but anybody else want to come forward and speak in favor of the application? Okay, seeing none, anybody that would like to speak in opposition to the application, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll close the floor to public comment. Entertain a motion of approval.
So moved with the 6 conditions staff report, Green.
Boots second.
All right, it's been moved, properly seconded. Any discussion?
For the sake of Jerry not being here, we can all just appreciate the fact that he likes sheds and garages.
Yeah, there you go. We would know what Commissioner Jungling's vote would be.
No, it sounds pretty straightforward. You know, I see you got a pretty good operation out there, so.
Yeah.
I'll be in favor.
Yeah, very good. Anyone else? Okay, we'll call the roll. Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Sweeter,
Yes.
Commissioner Otten,
Abstain.
Commissioner Boots,
Yes.
and Commissioner Scott is also a yes. So thank you. Good luck.
You.
Okay, with that, I don't believe we have any old business, so we'll skip to new business and we'll get a planning commission briefing from Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So prior to since the last meeting, the Board of Commissioners has approved a recommendation that you had, and that was for the joint jurisdiction zoning ordinance amendment, which was the boundary planning jurisdiction, so that has been approved. It will take effect shortly. It has to go through the publication and referendum process. And at that time, then you're going to see all the maps will change, essentially because all of the growth areas will modify just a little bit with that, but we'll get that done for you. The second thing is that the next Tuesday, 6:30 PM, the Board of Commissioners at their third meeting, the fourth Tuesday of the month, they will take up consideration of your recommendations on the PDs. I think it's 43 and 47, or 44 and 47, which was the Mark Blow and then the USS Solar applications. So those will be next Tuesday evening. As well as, we will have a joint meeting next month with the city of Sioux Falls. So we do have an application pending for that meeting, as well as you're aware that we're going to update the bylaws to change the meeting date for the joint meeting it'll be the third Monday of every month, just so we'll do it right before this meeting essentially with it. But you'll take that up at next meeting with an amendment to the bylaws for that. So that's all I had, other than I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving next week, and if you have any questions, I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Chair.
Very good. Anybody have any questions? No? Thanks so much for what you guys do, Toby, and you have a happy Thanksgiving as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Seeing none, can we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Boots.
Second, Sweeter.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Meeting is adjourned.